For some reason, animals are very popular within the giallo community, I guess. The animal trilogy specifically. Lizard and woman spin the case of the scorpion's tail. A cat that just randomly decides to jump down, who doesn't want any attention. And of course, one that actually is featured, Black Billy of the Tarantula. A deranged biller is injecting beautiful women with the poison of a rare wasp, paralyzing them and forcing them to witness their own brutal murders. Academy Award nominee Giancarlo Gianni, Seven Beauties Hannibal, stars as the dog detective who takes the case only to find himself trapped in a web of immorality and murder. From a tantalizingly erotic opening to his vicious stunner of an ending, experience what is considered to be one of the most riveting and acclaimed films in the entire giallo genre. Claudine Auger, Thunderball, Twitch of the Death Nerve, aka Bay of Blood, Barbara Boucher, Casino Royale, Don't Torture Duckling, Barbara Bach, The Spy Who Loved Me, Short Night of Glass Dolls, co-star in the rarely seen classic directed by Paulo Cavara of Mondo Cane, featuring one of Ennio Morricone's best scores ever, now transferred from the original camera negative and available for the first time ever in America. Yes, 1971, not rated. Holy smokes, this was freaking great. It's like at a massage parlor. Let's have a bunch of beautiful women getting a massage. And have another beautiful one being the receptionist. And of course, what happens is a bunch of interesting murderings going on. Now, with all these murderings, obviously you're going to call the cops. And we get a guy with a mustache who comes in, and I'm like, okay, any detective that has a mustache commands respect, and this guy does. When he's seeing everything going on here, he's like, okay, I'm assigned to this case. But then he starts to realize, I'm just feeling dejected from everything going on here. It's like, I'm just getting tired of all the corruption and immorality. So that's making him one of the few good investigators that's just there to commit to fully everything. But even he himself gets caught in the into the way how these beautiful women are, and eventually they think, I'm trying to remember, there was like a video of him where he is having sex or something, and it gets shown in someone's house, and he gets ridiculed by the other members of the task force, and I'm thinking, what? Why? Like, what is going on here? And I'm just like, whatever. So the tarantula they're referring to has to deal with the way how it can ensnare itself, but there's also going to be a wasp that is its mortal enemy. That I forgot what wasp was called, but like the wasp contains a deadly venom that it injects in the spider, and the spider is still conscious, but it sees itself being devoured by its mortal enemy, and that's the analogy going on of the police person and the person committing all the murders. So ultimately, what's happening here is the corruption going on, all the madness and everything. But it's just like with some giallos, you're going to get the artsy one. You're going to get the ones that are truly beautiful to look at, like The House with Laughing Windows, or complete trash, or ones that are in between. That total line, that toe the line, and make you question, like, alright, so where are we going? Well, we're getting quite an amazing police procedural. I think, what was this, one of the first movies to use like an enhancement, if I'm not mistaken, because photo enhancement. It was like right in the beginning when there's a picture of a woman who broke up with a man. They start focusing on like certain hands and stuff like that to determine, okay, so this hand is obviously something different from what's happening here in the photo, so we're going to do some work to try and figure out what's happening. And of course there's the police guy who's looking at all the evidence and everything to determine like what the proper steps are, of course. You know, he's chasing after a criminal. So this guy, I forgot what his name is putting in one heck of a performance, and I'm just looking at it like, um, yeah, Giancarlo Giannini, whatever. He does a freaking great job. It's like he's lively and animated. It's not just boring or anything. Like, we get to see his anguish and how he just wants to leave the force and just live a normal life. But he's got this ridiculous case to solve, you know. So when he's run across the rooftop, and you're thinking at the rooftop, yeah, they are actually running. It's not like it's like, you know, obviously you're gonna have a stunt double, and when when someone's descending from a building, they have like a mannequin or a dummy or whatever, which is always, you know, you gotta be safe with that. Yeah, and it's revealed, and I'm spoiling it. Like I said, spoilers for a 54-year-old movie, that there was this blind masseuse who was pretending to be blind, but his wife cheated on him because he couldn't maintain an erection or something like that. The sex wasn't that great. So he eliminated her and then pretended to be blind so he could continue his work, but ultimately he can see as good as I can with my glasses on. And during the last, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, we get an intense car chase scene as he's about to go and eliminate his next victim. But then we get the investigator driving through quite the tunnel. It's a beautiful lit tunnel. I don't know why. It just looks really darn nice. I think it's just climax of how he's just trying to go through everything, and eventually at the very end he's like, oh, okay, now I see what's happening. Yeah, so, I mean, obviously this is definitely a police procedural, but you have the exposed breasts here that it just works somehow. I'm not sure why. If I had to guess, it's meant to be not. It's not. It's maybe a little sleazy, but overall, it just really works well. The Black Billy the Tarantula, a little scene gem with nudity, gore, and 3 Bond girls. Yes, that is this movie's claim to fame. Claudine Auger, I think she was one of the henchwomen in Thunderball that was talking to Blofeld. Barbara Boucher in Casino Royale. I don't know if this is the 1960s one or the 2002 one. And Barbara Bach, the spy who loved me, who was opposite Bond, and I have gone on a short and said yes, that one is indeed definitely better than I originally saw. So yeah, ultimately this one, you know, it's freaking fantastic. You know, there's a lot of motifs going on. You got the cop who wants to just solve this one last case and go and get off the force. I mean, and this one's in Italian too. Thank you, Blue Underground, for including the Italian. And just, yeah, so it is truly with a high recommendation that I suggest you watch Black Belly of the Tarantula.